Hi everybody, today I will talk about ATP Miami Masters 1000. The best champion who won this tournament most time was Andre Agassi. The American former player won 6 times the ATP Miami Masters 1000. Andre also was the only one player who won this tournament 3 times in a row since 2001 to 2003. So let's start. First quarter with number 1 of the world, Novak Djokovic. Nole will play probably in second round with Kylie Edmond, who should crash Iji Vesely in the third round. Novak will play with Martin Kližan from Slovakia or Vasek Pospisil, who should beat Diego Schwartzman in the first round from Argentina. After that, it's hard to say who will win between Pospisil and Kližan, but it doesn't matter because Novak will win that match. And in fourth round, Serbian player should play with Feliciano Lopez or Dominic Thiem. I wanna finally see a match between the Austrian player Dominic Thiem and Novak. I hope it could be a really good match. Also, I have to admit that in last year Dominic played in quarterfinal when he lost with Andy Murray. Dominic leads 1-0 in first set in match, but he lost those match in 3 sets. In the bottom half of this quarter, we can find Richard Gasquet and Tomáš Berdych. They should play between them in fourth round, but I expect a little bit surprise. Alexander Zverev could play with a Czech player in third round. They played together 2 times in nearly past. Especially match in Davis Cup was so emotional. I hope that Alex can make a surprise, despite the fact that he could be a little bit upset after a lost match with Rafa Nadal. So Alex, everything will be alright. Honestly, I think that Berdych should beat all of them in his private neighborhood and should face with Novak in quarterfinal. Tomáš played 1 time in final, 3 times in semifinals, included last year, and 2 times in quarterfinals. So he really likes playing in Miami. The second quarter with Roger Federer. Roger come back after a surgery of his knee. In second round he will probably play with Juan Martín del Potro or maybe Guido Pella. I saw Guido in Gdańsk when he was playing during the Davis Cup tournament. He looks really confident, and he was a really quality player, strong from both sides. So it could be a really emotional match. I think Guido is in better shape than Juan Martín, so I think that Guido win in this match, and he will play with Raj in the second round. After that, Raj should play with Jeremy Chardy, who need to play in the second round with striker Verdasco or Gilles Muller. Nando has to defend the points for the fourth round since last year when he won against Rafa Nadal in the third round after first set battle. After that, Roger or Jeremy will play with I think David Goffin. David doesn't have a really hard way to the fourth round, and also he's in very good shape after a fantastic tournament in Indian Wells. He will probably play with Viktor Troicki in third round, and after that he could face with Roger or another player. Honestly, if they play with each other, I mean Roger and David, Roger should crush the Belgian player. But if Roger loses earlier, David has his chances to go further and play in quarterfinal with, for example, David Ferrer, bottom half of his quarter. We've got only three names, big names: Marin Cilic, Gilles Simon, and David Ferrer. Marin should play with Gilles Simon in the third round. They played 5 times, and also always they played. For example, when they played in Grand Slams, they always played 5-set matches, and if they play in other tournaments in best of 3, they always played 3 sets. Gilles Simon bet Marin 4 times, so I think he could beat him another time. And after that he will play with David Ferrer. The Spanish player will come back after an injury. I think David beat Marin or Gilles, and we could expect that David goes to quarterfinal, maybe semi-final. It depends on a few factors. And the bottom half of all draw. On the top, Rafa Nadal. Rafa has got, in my opinion, a pretty good draw. In second round, probably Leonardo Mayer from Argentina. In the third round, Thomas Bellucci. And in the fourth round, probably it will be Milos Raonic from Canada. They played each other last year in Indian Wells, where Milos won after 3 sets. In this year they played in Mubadala, and Rafa won after 2 straight sets. And I remember a pretty good match in Miami in 2014 when Rafa won after 3 sets, so it could be a really good match. Milos will play in second round with Korean Chang, but I think that he crushed the younger player. In the third round he will play against Jack Sock or Serhii Stachowski. I think it could be a very interesting match between the younger American boy and Ukrainian player. This is a good surface for Stachowski, so it could be a really interesting match with players playing in different styles. After that, I think Nadal will win with Milos Raonic. Nadal in quarterfinals should play with Stan Wawrinka, but Stan has never played in Miami in quarterfinal, and I agree that in this year he doesn't play again in quarterfinal. In the second round he will play with Kuznetsov from Russia. We can remember Kuznetsov from Aussie Open this year, or Doha, where he played really well. Stan should play in third round with the winner of match between Adrian Manarino and Sam Querrey. It will be another interesting match. Querrey, obviously an American player, they love play in their country with good serve and forehand, and Adrian Manarino, who played really well against Benoit Paire in last tournament in Indian Wells. So Stan can lose with for example Sam Querrey. Bottom of his quarter, Nick Kyrgios in the second round will play with Marcos Baghdatis, and in the third round he should play with John Isner. I think Isner beat Kyrgios and play in the fourth round against, I think, Sam Querrey, maybe Stan Wawrinka, and then American player should win, and after that face with Rafa Nadal in the quarterfinal. Last quarter, Kei Nishikori. Nishikori has one of the easiest way to quarterfinal. I think he has in the third round Alexander Dolgopov. After that, in fourth round, he could play with Roberto Bautista Agut, who has got a really good season, or Jo-Wilfried Tsonga. I think a French player win that match. We can remember the rivalry between Nishikori and Tsonga in this year Aussie Open. Nishikori played really well and won in straight sets, so I think it could be the same in this year on Miami tournament. And on the bottom on this quarter, Andy Murray in the second round should play with Borna Coric. I remember when Borna, after defeated Andy last year in Dubai, said that when I playing really well, I play like Novak Djokovic, but when I playing bad, I play like Andy Murray. So I think Andy crushed him in this year. In the third round, the Scottish player should face with Grigor Dimitrov, but Grigor probably in the second round will face with Federico Delbonis. Delbonis played a really good match against Murray in Indian Wells, so it could be very interesting. Despite that fact, I think that Andy crushed them all and will finally play in fourth round against Gael Monfils. Le Mans has the easiest draw, I think, to the fourth round for all, include Novak Djokovic. So he should face with Andy and lose in fourth round. In quarterfinals should play Andy Murray with Kei Nishikori, and I think Scottish player will win. And Rafa Nadal with John Isner. Rafa should win in this match. In semifinals, I think Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer or David Ferrer. Of course, Novak will win. And in the second semifinal, Rafa Nadal or Andy Murray. The same final like last year, so Novak Djokovic against Andy Murray. I have to add that during the last 5 years, always in the final played one Spanish player, one Serbian or one Scottish player. So I think definitely that Novak will win the trophy and will be a leader of the champion of ATP Masters 1000 tournaments. If you like this video, subscribe, share with your friends, and goodbye.